Hi Year 7s, it's Mr. Low here. This is your Chapter 6 classification video stream, and hopefully you can get some good notes from this here. So classification means to put organisms in systems, okay, and assigning them to different groups. Why might it be important? If you look at all these pictures here, what do all of these have in common? Okay, these pictures. Why might it be important to classify these things here? Okay, have a guess. Okay, well, they're all poisonous. So if you're able to understand that, that they're all poisonous, then you can actually put a classification to them, and people can protect themselves from being hurt from these animals. So why classify? If you look at, you might have personal safety, quarantine to prevent banned species, medicine, conservation, forensics, and agriculture. If you are able to find out the exact name of a species, then you can say to another country, don't allow this species in here because it might damage all of your ecosystem. But if you couldn't have a classification system and you said, oh, there's this purple kind of starfish that's doing a lot of damage, then people might see any of these starfish down here, like this one, or this one, or this one, and they might try to kill all of them even though they're not all bad. So you need to make sure you've got the right species by classification. Now, someone who classifies organisms is called a taxonomist. So when you look at classification, there's levels of classification, okay, and it starts off with kingdom being the broader sense. So you've got the kingdom of plants, the kingdom of animals, and kingdom of fungi, which are really big kingdoms. And then it goes into a smaller category called phylum, then class, order, family, genus, and finally species. And the lower you go down the classification groups, the more specific they are and more related they are. So an easy way to remember kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species is King Philip cried out for good soup. So if you can remember that, King Philip cried out for good soup, you'll be able to remember the levels of identification in that order as well. So this is a taxonomic kingdom of life. So if you look here, the kingdom Animalia and fungi down here, and they're all related in a certain way. So these two are related quite closely. That means they're very similar, and these ones are really similar as well compared to everything else. Let's have another picture here. Look, if you look in the kingdom Animalia, we've got insects, fish, rabbit, cat, fox, jackal, wolf, and dog. Now if we go to the chordates, it gets rid of the insect because the insect isn't a chordate in the phylum category, and you only got fish, rabbit, cat, fox, etc. But then we go to the class, which is Mammalia, or the mammals, and then you get rid of them slowly by a bit. Carnivora, okay, so these are ones that are carnivores. So the dog so far is a eukarya, it's Animalia, part of Chordata phylum, the Mammalia class, and a Carnivora order. Then we go to Canidae. So these are all of the canine family, which is fox, jackal, wolf, and dog. And as you can see, these are quite related. So the more you go down the classification system, the more related they are. Then you've got genus, which is Canis, so jackal, wolf, and dog. The species is Canis lupus, so wolf or dog. So these are really similar. And finally, the subspecies Canis lupus familiaris, which is finally the actual species of dog. So the further down you come, the more related they are. This is another one. Based on this information, which of these two animals are the most related? Okay, which of these two are the most related? Okay, have a look there. Which animals are the most related? Okay, if you look at the chordate phylum first, these are all similar chordate, except the mollusk. So the mollusk is not really related to much to anyone. Then we go mammalia, and cephalopoda again, so not there. The primate order, Perissodactyla order, again, and a carnivora. So these two are the most similar based on this information here. So the horse and the rhino are very closely related, whereas the ammonite is the least. Now, when you actually name an organism, it's called a binomial system, or just a two-part system, and it's just the genus and species, and it's always in italics. It usually originates from Greek or Latin names. The genus, the first part, is the uppercase, while the species is lowercase. So the domestic cat is called Felis catus, and you can see the genus is Felis and the species is Catus. Now the genus, the F is capitalized, whereas this isn't there. Over here, Panthera leo is the lion and Panthera onca is the jaguar. Again, you've got the capital P and the lowercase. Now, if these were similar, okay, the names are similar, that means that they're potentially related, okay, or closely related organisms. I want you to fill out on this page here, so please take out your chapter 5 and 6 booklet, okay, it's the booklet where it's got my face on it, okay, and I want you to fill out the 7 levels of classification and see if you can remember what they are. Okay, so pause this video, go and take that booklet out and find this page there. Okay, so hopefully you've been able to write the 7 down, starting with kingdom at the top, and then next we've got the phylum. Okay, what's next? Class, okay, order, family, genus, species. Remember, King Philip cried out for good soup. Okay, and kingdom, the reason why it's so big on this pyramid is because it has lots of different organisms in here, whereas species, you've only got a few species because they're not because they become more specific. Now I'd like you to turn to this page called the 5 Kingdoms. Okay, and for a good 20 minutes or so, or maybe 15 minutes, in your textbook, okay, turn to chapter 6. Okay, it's possibly 6.1 or 6.2, but look for the part where it says the 5 Kingdoms, and we'll go through each one by one, and it's got some information there. What I'd like you to do is spend about 15 to 20 minutes actually going through these groups and reading the information, and only write 1, 2, 3, 4, maximum 5 dot points, okay? So make some short notes on the plant, on the animal, the fungi, protists, and Monera. Okay, so some of the notes you might note for Monera is that Monera is another name for the bacteria. Okay, so I want you to spend some time reading that page. Okay, look for it in 6.1 or 6.2 in your textbook. If you can't find it, maybe ask your teacher or ask a friend, and only write 5 dot points, or 5 dot points for each thing. So 5 on plant, 5 on animal, 5 on fungi, 5 on protists, and 5 on Monera. Okay, so pause this video. Once you've finished, come back and you can replay this. Okay, so welcome back. Now that you've finished that, we'll have a look at dichotomous keys. So let's just say you're out in the wild, okay, and you're not sure what that organism is. You can identify them using a dichotomous key. And a dichotomous key is a little tool to help you identify what animal or organism you're looking at, And it's called dichotomous because there's only two options. Okay, only two options. This is how to use our dichotomous key. This page is in your booklet, so please turn to this page in your booklet now. Okay, and it says, look carefully at the aliens pictured below. Use the dichotomous key to find the scientific name for each one. So let's look at this green guy over here. Okay, is his mouth open? Yes or no? Yes, it is, so we go to 2. Go to 2. Does he have arms or no arms? No arms. Then he is called Alienus quadlogicus. Okay, so you'd write Alienus, and unfortunately I don't have my pen on me. I'm using the mouse, which is very difficult, but quadlogicus. Okay, and then we do the next one. So this guy over here, is his mouth open or closed? Okay, its mouth is not open, so go to 4. 4. Horns or no horns? No horns. Number 5. Number 5. Legs or no legs? He's got no legs, so his name is Alienus blobicus. Okay, and you'd write that down here. I'd like you to do that for all 6 and see how you go and if you can identify them correctly. So each of these aliens belong to the same genus. What's their genus? Okay, and I'll give you a clue. Starts with A. Look at the species name for each alien. How do you think these names were chosen? Now, I'd like you to have a look at that yourself, and you should be able to work that out. So, the species name is the second part, and how do you think these names were chosen? Well, just by looking at the organisms, you can tell that's what they're named. So when you use dichotomous keys, it's best to classify organisms with characteristics that are similar to the whole population. So animals generally have the same type of hair, so they could either have short hair or long hair. And you wouldn't do something like preferred food, because one organism, like one dog, might like this food, but one same species dog might like the other food. So it's better to identify or classify organisms which is something which is similar that they all have. So a Chihuahua will always have short hair, so you could identify it like that. If you turn to this page here in your textbook, in your booklet, this is how you can make your own dichotomous key. Now it's asking you here to make your own key based on these 6 animals. Now you can either use colors, or amount of legs, etc., or the type of animal they are. But let's have a look, excuse me, on how to do this. Let's say I choose the hammerhead shark. Okay, so how can we divide them all up? Well, the hammerhead shark is the only one that has gills. So if I wrote has gills, then I've got the shark. Because none of these other creatures have gills. They all have lungs to breathe. Okay? And then I'd write no gills. Okay? Go to step 2. Now, with step 2, I've only got these 5 left to distinguish. And I could say bird or not bird, or shell or no shell. You just have to make sure that the options you choose are opposite. Okay, so if I said for step 2, for the blue-footed booby, if I said has blue feet, and then I said has long neck, you can't do that because they're not the same, they're not opposites. So you have to say has blue feet or no blue feet. And if it's got blue feet, then it's identified as that bird. If it's no blue feet, then it could be anything else that's left. Okay, so have a go of your own dichotomous key. I'll be back next week anyway to help you guys, but I'd like to have a go of this. In terms of homework, please look at your AB work. Okay, they're really helpful. You won't need to do too much unit reviews for Chapter 6. Mainly do your unit review for Chapter 5, but look at your activity book homework for Chapter 6 as well, which is really helpful. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.